Okay, testing. 1, 2, 3, testing. Hopefully this is clear enough of my voice. Alright, and we're live now. Thank you guys for joining in. Thank you very much. Welcome to the TrinFx channel. Thank you guys for taking the time to join me in right now. We're just gonna take a look at today's markets, what we have going on. Looking at the GBP real quick. So London session is opening is happening just now in a few. Something that we could take a look at here is this rally to the upside that we're seeing on the yen currently, right? So I did have a position here early on, got stopped out, right? This was like on this wick. It ended up wicking back up, so I got stopped out there for a small loss, and I had another position, but we didn't get triggered in as yet. Thankfully so, because price actually pulled higher, right? And so price pulled higher here on this. Just let me know if I'm being heard clearly, right? Thank you. And sorry, yeah, no camera today, guys, just because, you know, the setup, it will take quite some time. I'm trying to rearrange some stuff within my area, so I just didn't feel like, you know, doing all of that today. All right, okay, no, but taking a look at some stuff that we have happening right now, right? So the yen has rallied, price has rallied to the upside here. We can see that this is across all the yen pairs. So we're seeing like basically the same format, right? Some more steeper than others, but it's basically the same format that we're seeing across the board for the yen currencies, right? So there's a lot of correlation on these pairs right now. So let's take a look here on the daily time frame on GBP JPY. We can see that price has coming back into this zone. This is a pretty strong zone, right? We had multiple times price came in here and rejected to the downside. Now, is this something that could happen again? Very likely we could see a continuation, right? A pullback all the way back down into these levels. I think that's a very likely scenario. However, one thing to note is that as price pulls up to this area here kind of bullishly on the day, if we do get a break above, then we could be coming to correct this entire wick down here, right? So price may have some more room to continue trending even higher. So that's something to pay attention to. Moving into today, however, looking at, you know, right now, something that we could potentially get a setup on. It's hard to say, right? Because pricing is in a very peculiar area. Is an area of resistance that we had price coming into multiple times in the past and reject from. So in terms of a trade setup that we can get moving into, you know, we coming up into the London session open, I do think we have a chance to see price rally even further. We could possibly rally a little bit more to the upside here, rather than a full-on reversal from the highs here, right? So take a look at the 13 and the 15 minutes. All right, taking a look at the 15 minute, we could say that this is acting as a sort of a support. And let me just delete this big area here. Yeah, so we can say that this is acting as a sort of support. So I do think that this is a position that comes into play very likely as, you know, a possible trade setup. This seems like a very likely scenario. We could see price actually pull higher to the upside here, see a swing even higher. So this is a trade setup that I would be looking to get into moving for the continuation of today, with the current momentum being that price is moving to the upside, right? So I do think that this seems like a highly probable trade setup for me. All right. So yeah, this would be the trade setup, to be honest. For right now, this does seem like, you know, the probable trade to actually happen and, you know, possibly pan out. Right. So this is the trade setup here, guys. We entered a tad early. All right. Essentially looking to see price continue upwards. This acting as a sort of support here. We can see that we have some multiple supportive levels. One being right here, the more major support. So if price does pull back on us, this will be the next area for possible buy entry, or where we want to see the supportive level be maintained for that continuation. All right, we're moving with the momentum here to the upside. So this does right, so if this does come into fruition, we should see a continuation movement, especially with the market open for the London session. We should see a continuation movement. All right, so taking all that in consideration, I do think that that does seem like the likely possible trade scenario right here. Right, looking here on the 30-minute candle, what we'd like to see is a close above this area. Right, if we could close above this zone or within here, then more than likely we should see a continuation movement upwards. Right, and that's the trade, guys. So we could wait and see if that happens. If you entered already, then you just leave it, see whatever price does. At the end of the day, price will do whatever it wants to do. If it's to continue, then it will continue doing so, respecting this level. And if not, then we pull lower, or we wait to actually see that pull lower into that level here, and then look for continuation movements. All right, so if you haven't entered, feel free to enter once price does pull back up into this entry zone here. So let me just type it out, the positions. All right, so you could put, currently you could put a buy stop. Sorry, I just moved this unnecessarily here. Stop loss is 21. So essentially, this is the position that we're looking to get into here. As price pulls up into this level, we want to see a strong bullish close, finishing on the candle here for that continuation movement to the upside. All right, if we could get that, I do think there's a high possibility we could just continue all the way up into here. This targeted zone being, just zoom this out a little bit, the wick highs of these areas here. You can see we have some wick rejections as price pull down here, and then we have this area here again where price came into, then rejected strongly from. So that would be the next possible target area for me if this trade does happen, you know, to get triggered in. Here, set the view here actually. All right, so we're just waiting. If price could pull back higher, then we look to see those continuation movements on the trade setup. So this is the trade setup for me, guys. If you have any questions, feel free to ask as well. And yeah, just let me know what's up. What are you guys looking at in the markets right now? What's catching your eyes? What do you think are like some possible playouts that you're looking for to potentially see and does so? Yeah, so right now we just waited on this to see it actually happen into fruition. Let's see what price decides to do. Whether we're gonna get a reversal at this point, pulling back all the way down, or is price going to continue this initial bullish movement to the upside? I do think there's more of a likely chance of actually filling this move all the way to the upside here into this next major resistance zone, and then price fully reversing on us, right? So even as this candle does pull back here, let me just reset the view. Even as this candle does pull back here, I don't think that it's gonna just continue pushing all the way down, especially since we saw buyers step in from this supportive level and push price up on the next level, right above that resistance that we had from last week. Then we should see that continuation movement. Bulls are still in control of this current market, and we should see that continuation movement back to the upside, right? We should see price continue swinging higher, unless we do have some sort of fundamental factor indicating that no, we're gonna see something different. Then sure. But as for now, with everything that's happening in terms of the price action, if we take a look at the fundamentals real quick, then this should roughly indicate to us whether or not what is price going to do at this point. We're going to see a full-on rejection. Is price going to maintain that supportive level? What is it that we could expect to see from price? All right, so we have some stuff coming up here in the next 16 minutes, coming up to the London session open. Take a look for Monday. Today, not much. We have ECB speech coming up at, this is 1:45 p.m. So this is something we could look forward to see. It's whatever comments she does, the president Larage does say, right? Miss Christine, whatever she says here should impact the euro dollar, and we'll see whether or not that impacts it in a positive or negative way, what remarks she has to say, right? And we can use that moving forward. Now the thing to note with the euro, we could actually take a look at the euro real quick. Right, the thing to note with the euro is last week we saw the euro initially tank and then rally to the upside, right? So this was the initial tank here, and the rumors that they're going to slow down their hike on interest rates, right? So from the first 50 base point increase, we will have seen a reduction around 25, right? So that the next increase afterwards, the initial one would have been like around 25 base points, right? So that being said, that drive the market down and had a negative impact on the euro dollar. However, we saw that the markets did recover from that pretty quickly, right? As you can see here too as well, the markets did start to recover from that, and we start coming up a little bit more, right? And you can see here too as well, markets gradually start recovering from that, and we came up a little bit more. So let me just pull this back. Right. So moving forward, what we could expect, right? Something we could expect from her is sort of more of a reaffirmation that, okay, we're going to continue raising rates for now to help combat inflation. And as you know, as interest rates increase, it is considered bullish or good for whatever currency you are looking at. So this should have a positive influence on the euro itself. So this might be my next possible trade setup that I'm looking at, either on Euro USD for continuation movements, or maybe something like Euro AED as well, where we have more clear fundamentals to look at, right? Rather than Euro GBP or as such, right? Even this self has the possibility. There's a possibility of this rallying all the way back up here. So I would put this on my watch list actually, right? And we'll see what price decides to do. But yes, these are the things that I'm looking at currently. All right. Maybe price may rally to the upside from here. So we'll have to wait and see what kind of impact his speech does have. But it should be positive. overall there's a lot of positive sentiment around it. Taking a look at some other stuff. We have NZD CPI coming up tomorrow, right? For the fourth quarter, expecting an increase here, so that should be good for the New Zealand dollar. So we'll see how that actually impacts. All right, so I'm just gonna set a alert for these two. And then Wednesday, another key thing that we have coming up is the BOC interest rate decision, right? Seeing an increase of 0.25 base points. So that should be good for the Canadian dollar, and we'll see how that actually impacts price. But for thus far right now, you know, as the market's now open, we have to take things a little slow as we digest everything that's going on currently. Right, again, so we have the buy stops here, looking for price to drive all the way back up here. Overall, that is the expected move that I'm looking to possibly potentially see. All right, we have a couple of minutes remaining until this candle close, so we see what price decides to do here, and yeah, just leave it in the hands of price action. All right, so if you guys have anything that you're looking at, feel free to let me know. If not, then as you know, I don't like to keep you guys here for too long unnecessarily. I'll just end the stream and we'll update you guys on the trade, how is it going, whether to take profits and so forth, whatever your risk management strategy does entail. All right, so that's it. Please feel free to leave a like. It helps the stream. Every like does count. It really helps the stream a lot. And yeah, I'm gonna start doing New York sessions as well, depending on some whatever time works best for everybody. And for some, I believe that is the New York session too. Right, so we'll actually do what I see how much volume is provided during that New York session opening on any setups that we do look to take and whether or not it's worth it. Right, usually I like getting into any setups after, maybe like 2 hours after the New York session does open. Sometimes I may be hasty and enter a trade before that, but usually it's just, you know, when I have the risk tolerance for it. All right, so I think that's it, guys. Really not much going on, not much to really take a look at currently, so I'm probably just gonna end it here and I'll update you guys about, you know, what's going on. I haven't slept either for the entire day of yesterday leading to now because I'm an insomniac, and yeah, all right, so yeah, that's it. We'll see what price manages to do here. That being said, I'm gonna set an alert at the bottom here, right? Because look at that where price is now. I'll set one on top here. Right, for the entry. And we have this set here at the stop loss level. So we'll know whether or not whatever price does, we'll know, you know, without having to come all the way back to the charts to check in. You can just see the alerts. And that's it, not much going on. Nothing much to discuss right now currently within the market. Alright guys, so I'm gonna end it here. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple what we're looking at, what we're looking to, you know, possibly see happen and play out on price. So we'll see if we get that with volume coming in. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you for joining, really do appreciate it, guys. Again, leave a like please, it helps out the channel tremendously. And that's about it. So yeah, peace.